Alright, so in this video we're talking about how to do the push-up correctly. This is a great exercise if it's done correctly because it works a lot of different muscles, including your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, your core, even your lower body if you are engaging your body correctly. So we're going to go over some do's and don'ts. The first one is the starting position. Think of your body as like you're doing a plank, except instead of being on your forearms, you want to be up on your hands. The second point is that you want your shoulders to be down, like toward your feet, and then pull your shoulders back. Think about trying to pull your shoulder blades together. This is really going to be important for your shoulder health, but also helping you engage your muscles correctly throughout this exercise. Do not sag your hips to the ground. By doing this, you're taking your core out of the equation and not engaging those muscles. You're also dragging your body weight on the ground and not, causing yourself to resist as much force as you would if your hips were up and you're in that kind of plank-like position. On the opposite end, don't jack your butt up in the air, because this is another way you can kind of cheat it and take your core out of the equation and not really engaging your body correctly. So there are a lot of different ways to cheat the push-up, so make sure you're doing it correctly. Now, the angle of your shoulder is also really important, and this applies to a bench press too. So you don't want your shoulders way up here so that you're making like a 90-degree angle. You want them down here so that you have more like a 45-degree angle. And again, this is going to protect your shoulders and kind of just prolong your lifting career or your exercising career. And it's great for just overall shoulder health, and it's also going to help you engage your muscles correctly. Okay, so before I go on, I just want to take a second to say, if you enjoy this video or you find it helpful, please help me share this video by leaving me a thumbs up, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Also, consider subscribing, because I do other videos on here about how to perform various exercises correctly and things about posture, longevity. So, next, don't do a seal push-up, as I call it. This is where you start the push-up correctly, but then when you hit the bottom and you come back up, you let your hips kind of like sag on the ground. Again, you're taking your core out of the equation and you're leaving a lot of body weight on the floor, so you're not really resisting as much weight as what you could be. Alright, now what if you can't do the push-up correctly, or maybe you have a client who can't do the push-up correctly? An easy modification is to drop to your knees. But do not let the rest of your technique and your form kind of go out the window. Everything else applies. Make sure that you're keeping your upper body all the way down to your knees, in that perfect line, and think of it like a plank, except from your knees. Do not let your hips sag to the ground. Don't, stick your butt way back. Everything else applies. It's just that you're doing a push-up from your knees and not the traditional plank-like position. Now, there are a lot of different push-up variations out there that you can do. I'm not going to go into those in this video, but one that I want to touch on real quickly is the triangle push-up, where you do, instead of with your hands out here, you put them together in a triangle like this. I would caution you doing it that way, because that can put a lot of pressure on your wrist, especially if you're working with somebody else, like a client or friend or somebody like that, and you're trying to teach them push-ups. I'd be really hesitant to show them the triangle push-up, because it does put a lot of pressure on the wrist. Instead, I would do something like a military push-up, where your hands are a little bit closer in than a traditional push-up, and then you tuck your elbows into your side. This is going to really overload your triceps. If that's what you're trying to accomplish with the triangle push-up, do a military push-up, because this is really going to protect your joints and your wrists, your elbows, even your shoulder. I just think it's a safer variation to do the push-up, and you're going to get plenty of overload on your triceps by doing the military style push-up. So give that a try. That's all I've got for you guys in this video. If you like this, please leave me a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.